I wake up late in the morning, muscles aching from yesterday's battle. The sting of my injuries is a harsh reminder that every day could be my last. A cold shiver runs down my spine as I sit up, knowing I can't afford to stay here much longer. My supplies are dwindling, and if I don't find better gear or weapons soon, I'll fade away like so many others. The thought gnaws at me, an ever-present worry that twists my stomach. I force myself to my feet and head back to the restaurant area to retrieve my car. The air is thick with the scent of decay, and I can hear the low moans of the undead getting closer, slowly encroaching on my makeshift safe area. I fight off a few stragglers, their rotting flesh slogging off in chunks as I drive my meat cleaver into their skulls. The smell is overwhelming, a sickening mix of burned meat and something worse, something unnameable that clings to my clothes and refuses to let go. I push the disgust down, but it lingers in the back of my throat, threatening to choke me. I spot a cowboy hat lying in the dirt. It's not really my style, but the thought of the coming cold sends a chill through me. I grab it and put it on, feeling a small flicker of comfort. It's one small advantage in a world where the dead don't care what you're wearing. They just want to eat you. I clear out the hearts one by one. My movement's automatic, each swing of my weapon fueled by a mix of fear and desperation. I come across a campsite, and for a brief moment, hope flares in my chest. But the sight of the scattered belongings and the silence that hangs heavy in the air extinguish it just as quickly. I grab whatever food is left, the cold dread creeping back as I realize how little I found. I take the campfire materials with me, a small victory in a day that feels like nothing but loss. By the time I make it back to the car, the sun is already sinking below the horizon, casting long shadows that seem to reach out for me. The van's still running, but it's seen better days. The engine sputtering like it's on its last legs. I grab some wine to take the edge off my hunger, but it does little to fill the gnawing emptiness in my gut. As I head back to the farm for the night, exhaustion seeps into my bones, and I can't shake the feeling that I'm running out of time. The next morning, I wake up early. The pain from my injury is dulled by a restless sleep. There's a sliver of hope in my chest. Maybe, with more daylight, I can find something useful. I drive back to the warehouse, but the sight that greets me sends a wave of dread crashing over me. The place is swarming with zombies. More than I've seen in days. My heart races, sweat beating on my forehead despite the chill in the air. I try to lure as many zombies as I can, weaving through the crowd carefully, every nerve on edge. A single mistake, a blown tire, and it's all over. As I get close to the restaurant, I slam my foot on the gas, my heart pounding in my chest as I come around the corner. A smaller group waits for me, but it's still more than I can handle with just a screwdriver. I lead them into the forest, my breath coming in ragged gasps as I use the trees to lose them. Outside the warehouse, I find a black hat that hides the blood and dirt better. It's a small comfort, a way to pretend I'm not as filthy as I feel. I grab a hammer, a shovel, and a ball-peen hammer, all better weapons than the pathetic screwdriver I've been clinging to. Just as I start to feel a tiny bit safer, more zombies crawl through the broken doors, their dead eyes locking onto me with a hunger that chills me to the core. I can feel the cold sweat trickling down my back as I take the fight outside, desperate to avoid being overwhelmed. Even after I clear the stragglers, more zombies come from the road, forcing me to retreat. Every step feels like I'm sinking deeper into a nightmare. By late afternoon, I finally finish exploring the warehouse. I load up the van with the gear I've scavenged, claiming an axe and a crowbar, tools that might give me a fighting chance. I celebrate with a bottle of bourbon, the burn in my throat a welcome distraction from the fear gnawing at the edges of my mind. I head to bed, but sleep is a fleeting thing, always just out of reach. In the morning, with new tools and a bit of hope, I start clearing the area of zombies. I need to move cars blocking my path. But as I work, I hear it. A helicopter, out of nowhere, slicing through the silence. And it grips me like a vice. I know the noise will draw more zombies, and if I stay here, I'll be overrun. I have to get out of Muldraugh, and fast. I drive away, my heart in my throat, my hands shaking on the wheel. I'm so focused on escaping that I barely see the tree before it's too late. The crash is jarring, the engine dying with a final, pathetic wheeze. I'm stuck, with zombies closing in. The helicopter flies off, leaving me alone, and I can't help but wonder, did they see me? Did they leave because they knew they were leading the zombies right to me? Should I have stayed put and hoped for a rescue? The questions swirl in my mind, each one heavier than the last. I managed to fend off the zombies, grabbing what I can from the truck, but every step is harder than the last. I'm tired, hungry, and every part of me screams to just give up, but I keep going. I reach a nearby trailer park as night falls, searching for a place to sleep. The first trailer I enter is a nightmare. 4 zombies inside, their dead eyes staring outside as I fight them off. There's nothing useful here, just death and decay. I move to the next trailer, hoping for something better, but it's the same story. Just a can of food and the body of someone who drank bleach to escape this hell. My stomach turns, sorrow mingling with disgust. Is this what I'm fighting to survive for? A slow, miserable death, alone, in a trailer. The thought sticks with me as I continue my search. Outside, I spot a few zombies near my intended resting spot. I take them out, but the effort leaves me drained. I search a broken car, then engage another horde of about a dozen. By midnight, I'm done fighting. My body feels like it's made of lead as I drag myself back to the trailer with the bleach victim. The smell is unbearable, but I'm too exhausted to care. I drink a bottle of wine and collapse onto the bed, sleep pulling me under almost instantly. The next morning, a blizzard is raging outside, the wind howling like a chorus of the damned. I keep exploring the trailers for food and the working car, each step through the snow sapping what little energy I have left. The storm is loud, drawing more zombies, but I deal with them as best as I can. The snow turns to rain, soaking through my clothes and chilling me to the bone. I decide to return to where the fire was burning. The rain will help, and I might as well finish off the zombies and put out the fire. I make my way back to the burned area, the thick fog making it hard to see more than a few feet in front of me. Zombies are scattered through the forest, their form barely visible through the mist. I ignore them until I reach the fire zone. The smell of burned flesh hitting me like a wall. I gag, bile rising in my throat, but I push through it, drawing the zombies into a big flaming horde and leading them to an open area. The flames do their job, consuming the zombies and finally putting out the fire. But as I watch, a deep sadness washes over me. This world is nothing but death and destruction, and I'm just a small part of it. With night falling and the rain turning to snow, I search for shelter again. I take a break at the small store to warm up and dry off, but the cold has seeped into my bones, making it hard to think. As night falls, I head north, looking for a safe house to sleep in, but everywhere I look, there is zombies. I can't find a safe house, returning to the farmhouse, the only safe place I know. I go to bed hungry, my body trembling from the cold and the lingering fear. In the morning, the storm is still raging, the wind whipping through the trees like a banshee's wail. I remember the car next to the van, making it my next destination. But I must clear out the zombies around the farmhouse, each kill feeling more like a chore than a fight for survival. I head through the forest to the car park, but there are even more zombies, drawn by the noise of the helicopter and the storm. I break the window of the car, the sound shattering the eerie silence, and hotwire it with shaking hands. I head back to the van to retrieve my loot. Using the horn to lure zombies away from a fenced house I want to use as a new base. After moving the loot, I explored the outskirts of Muldraugh, the roads blocked by abandoned cars and debris. I spot a fire truck, and after clearing the zombies there, I find another axe, the weight of it reassuring in my hands. Later, I also come across a trailer, though it's in bad shape. I'll save it for later, another problem for another day. Back in Muldraugh, I dodge the hordes to reach the house I want for a base, but when I get there, my heart sinks. It's still surrounded. Exhausted, I head back to the farmhouse through the dark forest, the shadows playing tricks on my tired mind. I fight off the zombies surrounding it, my movement sluggish, my mind numb. When I finally get some rest, it's a restless sleep filled with nightmares. The next day, I return to the house, hoping that I can clear it out and make it safe. I draw small hearts to the back, each step forward feeling like a mile. By sunset, I finally get to check out the house, only to find it completely destroyed. The sight hits me like a punch to the gut. It's unsafe to stay here. So I continue my search for a place away from town, each step heavier than the last. I find a small path that leads to a hut and a trailer with lab equipment. It's a safe place to stay, at least for now. The sight of the equipment fills me with a strange sense of wonder. What was this place? Who lived there? The questions swirl in my mind as I cook some beans and fall asleep in the hut. The warmth of the fire a small comfort against the cold darkness outside. In the morning, I drop the trailer and head back to the outskirts of town through the fog. I want to check out the house that must have valuable loot, but the fog makes it hard to see, and I underestimate the number of zombies. Panic starts to rise in my chest as I try various strategies to lose them. It's hopeless. They just keep coming, their numbers overwhelming. I try to lead them down the road, losing some at the burned house and circling through the forest, but more zombies keep appearing, their groans filling the air, their dead eyes locked on me. I get back in the car, hoping to use the horn to draw them away, but the roads are now flooded with zombies, a sea of death that closes in on me. I miscalculate, getting surrounded quickly. My heart races, fear clawing at my throat as I try to circle the main road, waiting for the zombies to clear. But then, a zombie spots me and more rush in. Panic grips me, my hands trembling as I try to get back in the car. But I fail. The door slamming shut as I fumble with the handle. I'm bitten. On my left arm and neck, the pain sharp and blinding. I try to tear my clothes into bandages, but the zombies keep coming. Their rotting hands clawing at me. I'm overwhelmed, and the last thing I feel is the taste of blood in my mouth, metallic and bitter, as the world fades to black. The crushing weight of failure is the last thing on my mind as I bleed out from my neck wound, my body finally giving in to the inevitable. Thank you for watching. A big shout out to the members of the channel and everyone who keeps coming back for more. I'll see you on the next one.